Welcome back, everyone, to GGN. This is part 4 for today, the final part for Friday, October 11th, 2013, and I'm Darko. Okay, we left off with this article here. I was just going to do 3 videos, but I still have some more I want to get to, including weather modification reports, HARP updates. But I'll leave off with this article that we left off. A transgender teen crowned homecoming queen wipes away tears, saying that I can't even be happy. So this would be her happiest day, but it was marred by criticism. And we were talking about how wearing cosmetics and all the makeup and how that woman looked completely different, you know what I mean? And different face, and it's like you're selling something that you're not. And that's all part of this society, especially for females, where a lot of them don't have any self-confidence, you know, but at the same time they're being propped up, you know, as equal. It's the weirdest form of social engineering, you know. But in regards to this article here, it's just like, are you kidding me? You expect everybody to just accept you, right? This movement, yeah, they have the you know, people have the right to express themselves the way they want to, I guess. But to me, it is kind of a form of deception, betrayal. I mean, if you hook up with these people and you're just a regular male, and you know, you go however long, and it's just like, you know, they kind of trick you, and it's just like, it's not really cool at all, especially, you know, when people are going back and forth, right? Oh, I'm a woman. Ooh, I'm a man. You know, I'm going to go back to being a woman. Call me this and call me that. And everybody's supposed to just, like, you know, just change all the time for you. And it's like, if you're going to be the spearhead of this, quote, revolution, right? So you're not, you know, so other people be tolerant, then you have to grow some thicker skin and be able to take shit. The truth of the matter is that these people are being exploited by the cultural and social engineers to create intolerance of people who are not tolerant of this. I mean, it sounds crazy, play on words, but that's what it is. Like, that's why you see a lot of the people that are LGBT activists, the most intolerant groups of people, social activists that are out there, as far as censorship and not having free speech. You'll hear people that will kill themselves over this stuff. High school's rough, man. It's rough. You know, there's all these cliques and the groups that you try to belong to and stuff like that. You know, if you're going to come out and try to do something like this, it's like you're kind of asking for trouble. And if you are, and you want to be like this tough person, then I guess what I'm saying is, don't be surprised when people backlash at you. But I guess it's a victim mentality. I didn't know I was going to go 3 minutes with that, but either way. A bus collision with tractor leaves 32 sorority girls injured as they travel to a mixer party. A mixer party, so whatever the hell that is. But the only reason I cover this is because I saw this, like, when I was looking at news on the Daily Online, I saw it as like a little thumbnail over here, and I'm like, I thought maybe they were a bus full of prostitutes. I literally did. I thought it was like, oh, wow, okay, so it's like prostitutes or something. But I don't know what a mixer party is. Maybe you guys can tell me. But the way they were addressed, I did. I thought they were pole dancers. But I guess that's how it is. That's the future of college students. I don't know. In Britain, Blackpool considering adding fluoride to milk for the school children. So add fluoride to the milk. Special plans to introduce fluoridized milk in their primary schools moved one step closer after the scheme was backed by health officials. So you gotta, government shutdown, gotta make sure the FDA is still up and running, right, to help keep you safe, you know. So when they have salmonella outbreaks, like they're saying out in the West Coast with the chicken, oh, they, you know, or oil spills, oh, they did, nothing happened for 10 days because the government was shut down. So they don't give a shit about your health. They don't give a shit about the Earth's health. Just as long as they can bomb the shit out of people, as long as they can keep the usury system and exploiting people that way through their labor and their time and interest. But these people, you know, the health chiefs, right? These are the same people that back Monsanto and them. Ideally, we would like fluoridized water to be provided so that everyone has access to it, but that seems to be off the cards at the moment with the cost being an issue. No, it has nothing to do with cost. It's a good way to skew the truth. The fact is there's a growing opposition to fluoride in water for the past 50 years, and people are actually removing it, but they're going to sneak it into the milk. The best thing is milk fluoridization. Fluoride is found in toothpaste and works to a great degree on teeth. but it's soon washed off. So we got to get it in your bloodstream, right, to wreak havoc on your kidneys and your liver and your bones and your brain, right, because it lowers IQ. We've covered that before as far as studies go. There's a little label that says on the toothpaste, do not ingest. If you do, call poison control. So, but fluoride, which is ingested, can be continually secreted in the mouth through saliva. So there's your science. There's your logic from the authority of people's health, looking out for the public. Metals risk in baby milk. Popular formulas contain 100 times more aluminum than breast milk. Traces of metal in milk from leading products found to be much higher than is legally allowed in water. And speaking of aluminum, attention deodorant users, I don't know why. I mean, I know why, because people are too close to each other and enclosed, so they need to put on deodorant. I prefer not to, but it's, like I said, it's an unnatural environment, most work environments where you're enclosed and all that. Because the thing about, talking about excreting fluoride through saliva, you also excrete all kinds of toxins through your armpits. That's what's happening there. So when you cover it up with this crap, with chemicals, you're not allowing the toxins to come out, which I would imagine would not allow your liver to work properly or to detoxify. A good way to connect this all is that I remember reading before a while ago, like a couple of years ago, about how fluoride allows the brain to absorb aluminum more, and that's one of the biggest things in these aerosols that they're spraying, people call them chemtrails, is aluminum particles or shavings. And then you see the cancer rates rising. And I also see recently, and it's all a business, like I said, so you see all these pink light bulbs in the checkout lines, pink light bulbs, you see them all around people's houses, that now they're aware that breast cancer exists. So what can they do about it? Well, they paid some money. Where is that going to go? It's going to go towards how to chemotherapy people and radiate them and stuff. That just reminded me of this article, this story, right? Horrible, right? Of the Amish, because they're constantly encroaching on the Amish people. October 7th, Ohio hospital can force Amish girl with cancer to get chemotherapy. So they've already done this for the regular population. Now they're going into Amish communities because they actually went to them to get help, or not really getting help. They thought they were. And they said that it wasn't working, so they decided to go with herbal remedies. And once they did that, the court decided, right? So it says here that the chemical treatments made the girl extremely sick, and she begged them for them to stop. But that doesn't matter because the state overrules that. Just like that one mother who said that she wanted to take her child off the treatments because it was making her sick and ill, and it just made her feel worse. And they said, no, you don't have the right. An appeals court is cited again with an Ohio hospital that wants to force a 10-year-old Amish girl to resume chemotherapy after her parents decided to stop the treatments. The court ruled that an attorney who's also a registered nurse should be granted limited guardianship over the girl and the power to make medical decisions for her. They said, while we respect the wishes of the parents and believe them to be honest and sincere, we are unwilling to adhere to the wishes of the parents, appeals court judge wrote. Beliefs and convictions of the parents can't outweigh the rights of the state to protect the child, the court said. It is also ordered that the guardian should be appointed right away. The nurse. And nothing bashing nurses. You guys there may be a nurse in the audience here. But I think a lot of nurses just go in to try to help people. And then, like, if you awake to this stuff, you realize vaccines are bad, and you're kind of pushing them yourselves. These pharmaceuticals with their side effects, you're pushing that. It's almost like you're like the doctor. You're kind of like a drug dealer for the pharmaceutical companies, and you're not really helping people like you thought you were. And of course, you throw on that a lot of them are overworked, long hours and stuff like that, just like doctors, that they can tend to be just burnt out and not all that friendly. A boy 15 kills himself after facing expulsion after being put on a sex offender registry for a streaking prank at high school football game. So, we're talking about the LGBT or the transgender, possibly suicide and stuff like that. Growing thick skin. But this is ridiculous, where it says here that he had killed himself because he'd been placed on a sex offenders registry for simply streaking at the high school football game. So you got all these teenagers doing these horrible things, including murders and homicides and rapes and all that, and nothing happens to them because they're considered children, right? But then if a football player who's probably well liked in the community and in school does a prank like that, throw him in the jail, right? But it says here in Alabama, he hung himself on October 2nd, a week after he was arrested for running naked across the high school football stadium. Speaking of schools, schools return to additive-filled hamburgers because all beef patties don't taste right. At least that's what they say. So last year they scored a victory when they convinced local schools to replace the additive-infused hamburgers with 100% all-beef patties. But after numerous students' complaints, because they're used to all the crap food, that all-beef patties didn't look or taste right, they tasted too natural probably. This says here that they pulled them. So students complained that the all-beef patties were pink in the middle. The school board member said it's likely because that all beef patties did not have a caramel coloring additive, plus, like George Carlin said, overcook everything, take a effing chance. That's the world we live in, right? Really super protective. South Dakota devastated by apocalyptic scenes of up to 20,000 dead cows killed by freezing blizzards. Record-breaking storm has dumped 4 feet of snow in South Dakota this week. There's rotting corpses of 20,000 cows still scar the countryside. Many ranchers lost half of their herds, leaving livelihoods in ruins. So that's global warming for you. What's going on here? They're manipulating the weather, right? They're manipulating the weather, and it should be colder. And if we are heading into a mini ice age or an ice age, cooling period, like scientists have said, the last 15 years it's been steady. Well, that's because it should have been worse, but they're aerosoling, and the side effect of spraying these aerosols, according to Welsbach cloud seeding patent from Howard Hughes' company, is that it'll actually create a warming effect, along with all the pulsing of HAARP and microwaves. That's what's happening. So if they lay off a little bit, then bam, the real temperature and climate can set in, especially up there where it can be really cold. Bam, they're all dead because they probably didn't know. They could have took them in sooner. So here's your chemtrail forecast. This was early this morning for Friday. This was the afternoon. This big clutter in the central part, the northern part of the continent. Not really moving much, but kind of just getting dragged north. All of it getting dragged north. And kind of by day 2, we'd be here. That would be tomorrow, Saturday, creating this, which means they're going to be probably harping over here, creating a. But by day 3, I guess that's what, Sunday, you have a big front moving up from looks like the south into Mexico and Texas, and that big front kind of moving eastwards near Ohio and Michigan and up the part to Canada. And there was no high-frequency detections for basically HAARP, the long-wave readings, due to a solar storm last night. Cannibal father kills his 3-year-old daughter by biting her neck and sucking out her blood like a vampire. So we talked about vampirism and all that possibly being, a form of energy sucking, how the elites are sucking people's energy like vampires. And the next best thing is to have the people actually be proud to be victims by watching shows glorifying vampirisms as sexy and cool and actually carrying out this stuff physically, not just with energy-wise. So Papua New Guinea, man bit 3-year-old girl's neck and sucked her blood until she died. The local community has branded the man a possessed vampire. So the parents were separated. When the mom dropped off the kid, he grabbed the baby girl from her, jumped over the fence, and ran into bushes where he carried out the terrible thing, they said. Chinaman amputates his own leg with saw. Now, here in America, they just go to Home Depot and saw their arms off for no good reason. This guy removed his leg because he was unable to pay for a hospital bill for surgery. So you remember me covering this late-term abortionists under fire for allowing parents to nurse and take photos and footprints of their dead baby for a memory box. The procedure is illegal in all but 9 U.S. states. For whatever it's worth, the way I'm kind of seeing it right away, is that it's controversial or illegal because you don't want the mother identifying with the living being. And that's why they call an abortion clinic's tissue, to basically dehumanize it. Baby, I'm sorry, Chinese dad takes photos of dead son after a brutal forced abortion at 6 months. So over there, they do it by force. Over here, voluntary. That symbolizes the system itself. In the East, they get force. Over here, we get voluntarism, the scientific dictatorship versus brute force, military dictatorship. Scientists say elephants know what it means to point at something, no training required. They say it's impressive given that many apes fail to understand pointing when it's done for them by human caretakers. Speaking of which, zookeeper killed by a charging elephant said he had a history of aggression, i.e. wanting to be free. Thank you.